with another Audiobook Blast with yours truly, Neil Gardner. Yes, hello. And welcome back. You're here because of the wonderful people at the Audiobook Creators Alliance. You should go join them. They're amazing, and they're great, and they're fabulous, and they're fine. And you know all the stuff. I've been bleating on about it for ages, but go join. If you work on the creative side of the UK audiobook industry, you're a narrator, producer, director, sound designer, editor, proofer, studio owner, maybe you're a composer for audiobooks that need that, maybe a sound designer, there's loads of things, an author, a publisher, an agent, as long as you're not the person who's kind of footing the bill, then come join us and be part of our uplifting voices. How lovely. So what's today all about? Today's Audiobook Blast is about scheduling, timing, the amount of time it takes to actually make an audiobook. Now this is going to be slightly different between whether or not you're doing an all-in-one home recording job, so doing basically all yourself, or whether you're being asked to come into a studio and do it just as a narrator. But this is kind of for publishers to bear in mind, because oftentimes the audiobook gets commissioned right at the very end of the publishing process, and we're told we've only got a couple of weeks to get the whole thing done. And that's madness. We've got to prep the book, read the book a couple of times, get in touch to ask questions, then of course got to be recorded, edited, proofed, fixed, mastered, delivered. Now, in many cases, the delivery side is only going to be digital, so that's quite quick, but there are a few clients who require CD masters, and of course that means they need to be posted, so you've got to add another 24 hours at least for that, and weekends and all that kind of stuff. So what I try to say to most people is, from the moment you commission, let's say us at Ladbroke Audio, to make an audiobook for you, we need around about a month to 6 weeks to turn it around. Now, of course, we can do it really fast. There's always exceptions to the rule. But in general, when you're planning out your schedule of the year ahead, giving your narrators and producers and studios about 6 weeks to turn things around will make your life so much easier as a publisher, because you won't be chasing us and asking us, why haven't I got it yet? And am I definitely going to get it on this date? It's really handy. Now, why do I say that much time? So what we're talking about is a minimum of 2 weeks, so 14 days, for a narrator to be able to proof, prep, go through the book that they're going to be reading. Also for the studio, if they're working at studios, for the producer to go through the book as well. So that's 2 weeks at least, 10 days to 14 days ahead of the scheduled recording dates, for people to get hold of that final PDF. And it has to be the final version, no draft copies. It has to be the final version. Then, let's say we've got an average length book that's going to be about 9 to 10 hours long. That's going to need 2.5 to 3 days for an experienced audiobook narrator to record in studio. Now, sometimes that might take a bit longer. If you're doing rock and roll recording, it can take a little bit longer in studio, but then, of course, less time to edit. If you're doing straight chapter files, like we do at Ladbroke's, then it's slightly quicker in terms of recording time, but then slightly longer on the edit. So it all kind of balances out. So let's say you've taken 3 days to record. It's then going to take, at least with a professional editor, 3 days, but probably 4 to 5 days to edit that, depending on how good the narrator was. If you've got a perfect narrator who never makes any mistakes, then you're going to get it done pretty fast. But then, so let's add that on. So we'll say 3 days to record, 5 days. We've got 8 days already. So we're already over a week. So that's already into our 4th week now, if you think about it. 2 weeks to prep, 8 days for record and edit. And then proofing. Now, proofing can be done as the editing is going along, hopefully. So the proofing should only be a day or so behind the final day of edit. But let's say that's added another couple of days on to the end. You then need to spend a couple of hours doing fixes. You might need to ask someone to come back in and do some pickups. So maybe there's a day extra there. And then you've got to do the final masters and do the upload delivery. So let's kind of tack that on as a day at the end, because you might need to do CD masters and put them in the post. So you can see that's already 4 weeks. And that's on a standard length book. If you're doing something that's 15, 20, 30 hours long, or multiple books in a series that have to be delivered at the same time, you can see how much time that all adds on. And that's based on my experience doing it through a studio system where we have external professional freelance editors and in-house editors. You know, if you're a home narrator, you may well need a lot longer to do the edit. Because obviously you're not a professional day-to-day editor, so we do things a bit faster in the same way that you act way better than I ever could. But also you've got other jobs to do. You've got to be doing other voice work, commercials, VO work, and other audiobooks. So you can't just record for 3 days and then edit for 5 days. You've got to balance your work balance out. Too many uses of the word balance there, but you know what I mean. So that could actually mean that you need 6 weeks, maybe more. So all these things need to be borne in mind, both by you as the person who's accepting the job. Be realistic about, can I do this in the time with everything else I've got on, not just studio availability, but also other jobs you're doing, your private life? Do you have childcare issues? Can you work at night, weekends? Is there background sound? How fast of an editor are you? How long will your proofing take? Etc., etc. But also for the publisher, the commissioner, give us as much time as you can, and we'll give you an absolutely banging audiobook at the other end of it, and you'll be really happy with us and come back for more, because that's what we all want, more audiobooks. Okay, that's it. Slightly longer audiobook blast today because I was rambling on and repeating myself a bit there, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope it's been useful. We'll see you very soon. Bye!